All right, so today I just want to talk a little bit about Diablo 4 and how actually fucking amazing it is. So it's actually a pretty decent fucking game. So, like, I'll be real honest, I haven't played a lot of Diablo 3 at all. Um, I basically ran through it originally right before Diablo 4 came out, just so I could see it and play it and get used to like the feeling of the game itself. But overall, I mean, Diablo 3 was good, and this just takes like the next step in just playing how good it is. I mean, you can very clearly see just from like these cutscenes that are playing behind me, how great of a game this is. I mean, I was playing it live on stream the day that it actually came out, which was June 2nd, I want to say. Before like the early drop I was playing it on, and it like instantly blew me away. Like, I was so excited to play it. A lot of the cutscenes were fantastic. Here, I'll just unmute it real quick just to like really hear. Like, a lot of the voice acting was also fantastic. The cinematography of like the cutscenes and the scenes and things like that were done really well, and that's what I really liked. What I did want to go ahead and kind of like skip to here though is exactly like kind of like the meat and potatoes of the game. So the mechanics of the game. I probably start like, this is very early gameplay, so I don't have all this stuff unlocked yet. But I think that I started with a rogue because I was used to playing Demon Hunter in Diablo 3. The last one that I did, I was just barbarian, just so that way I could kind of power through it. A lot of people are saying that rogue is one of like the harder classes to play with, and I really did feel that. Like, there was a lot of times where I would have to, go ahead and change my build layout and things like that. I would have to go ahead and which is something that's good about the game, so that way you're not so locked into the choices that you make, because you can go ahead and refund the stat perks that you go ahead and upgrade each time, so that way, once again, you're leveling up what you need, and then if you need to change anything or tweak anything, you can. But not all builds are built the same. It's not like if you have things that don't complement each other, that it's just you're just gonna walk right in and just delete everything. It's not really like that at all. Like I said, I played as a rogue, so me getting through the game didn't really take that long. Overall, I would say it didn't really take that long to get through like the main game, but I was so just like entranced by doing everything else that I possibly could have. Like, literally, like, there were at times where I would be like just doing side missions and things like that. Before I finished Act 1, I was level 35. Because I just wanted to do side missions. That's all I wanted to do. Like, I could, like, it's not that this main story wasn't good, it's just that there were so many side quests and so many things to go do that it like kept me just going and doing that, as opposed to going ahead and progressing the story forward. So about me, I mainly play Dark Souls games. I play a lot of FromSoft games. So going over to a game like this was a little bit jarring, because when you play these types of games, a lot of times, it's kind of like it takes you back, because all of the enemies in the world also scale with you. So no matter what, like, yeah, you're in the first area, but then you're still going to be fighting level 35, level 20 characters or enemies. No matter what character your level is, it matches it to that. Sometimes there's these places called strongholds that are always going to be like 2 levels above you, just so that way it always gives you a little bit of a challenge. You can do it by yourself. I don't recommend it, but that's the other thing with this game, is that you do sometimes need other players if you're going to get through the whole game. Especially if you're newer to these games, it's not very single player friendly. I mean, it's a lot of fun if you have more players and more people to play with. You can have a party up to 4, and that's kind of where it came down to. Playing as a rogue, I did have a lot of trouble with a couple bosses that just kind of felt like bullshit, because like there's like a stat in the game where it's like it makes you vulnerable, so you take more damage for a set amount of time, and then if you get hit twice as my character, it's fucking dead. Like, you just are dead and have to restart. And so that kind of annoyed me a little bit there. Like this boss here that we were just fighting, It's one of the main story bosses. It was a fucking slog to get through this because he also spawns ads, and I'm only one character, so my character doesn't really do a lot of damage. But what he does do is that, like, if you have a group of enemies, it's a lot easier for me to tank through a group of enemies than just one singular enemy that has a lot of health, because it has like good crowd control. But other than that, it was kind of hard to play with. Overall, the world is fucking huge. Like, it is absolutely massive. You have to zoom in like 3 or 4 times just to like take a look at this map here. You have to zoom in like 3 or 4 times to actually get down into like the nitty gritty of where you're trying to go. After level 50, I haven't done any other content after the story missions were over, so I can't really speak on behalf of that. But that's all I can really say there, is that there's even after endgame content that looks fantastic that I'm gonna get into as soon as possible. The other thing is that I did want to talk about the pricing of the game. Now, I spent, I think it was like $97 to actually purchase the game early and everything like that. So what does that mean to me? That if I spend $1 on the game, I should at least play it for an hour. So an hour per game, or per dollar. So I should be at least be able to play this game for 90 hours or 97 hours, up to 100. Easily can. Like, it's gonna blow that out of the water completely. I've personally played for maybe 40 to 50 hours already, just doing all the side quests that I did, and also doing all of the other stuff that I kind of did there, including the main story and finishing that up. So like, overall, it's so good, and I probably have to give it, I don't know, probably like, for this genre of game, I haven't really played this many games, but overall, the way that it's kept me engaged and things like that, it's probably a solid 8.5 out of 10. And that's where I'm going to finish it.